Yo, what is going on, guys? C4RQ here with another ChunLi Nash tech video. This one is basically going to go over some applications you can use for his V reversal. So obviously, ChunLi's V reversal, for people that don't know, don't play ChunLi, it's not a common one. There's only like a few characters, I think 3 or 4, where their V reversal is kind of to get out of a situation, where everyone else's is kind of like a strike to stop the person hitting buttons. ChunLi's one's kind of interesting. It isn't like Vega's, where he goes backwards. He definitely goes forwards in this one. There is ways you can sort of manipulate where he goes on screen, which we'll see later in some of the examples. But yeah, basically it's a teleport, but it has a lot of recovery. But it does have some invincibility on the way in and out of the teleport. Again, that will be shown in some of the examples, so let's get into it. So the first example is against Chun. So with Chun, obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious to some people, but EX legs is safe on block. So even though ChunLi hasn't got a free frame jab, which is quite a big hindrance in some matchups, he can punish this. You have to be relatively quick. I would say preemptive on the EX legs. If you wait for the EX legs, it might be you're too late to punish it. It all depends on the player's kind of response time, their reactions, to be fair. As you can see in the example, it's basically as soon as you see them go yellow, you might be able to squeeze out a dash up punish. Other characters, like you can see here on Vega, it's very much a preemptive thing. Another thing with the Vega one as well, that you can't do it mid-screen. Your back has to be into the corner, otherwise Vega's attack will just push him too far away and you can't chase it down, not even with the super. And even then, when it is in the corner, you have to be really quick. You have to be on point if you want to use it as a punish or to get decent damage. I mean, you can just use the V reversal and go straight into medium scythe, which normally works, and at least score the knockdown. You might not get much damage, but at least you get the screen positioning and you get somewhat of an Oki situation. Obviously, they've still got the 3 ways of getting up, but you basically just stop them using their EX for pressure and reverse the situation. So now another example is kind of to show off the invincibility on the teleport once you've done it. So as you can see, obviously I'm teleporting and I'm getting Dalsim to basically do an attack after I teleport, and it's going straight through me. The frames on the invincibility from the book is 3 frames. So there's 3 frames where you're projectile and strike invincible. You're not throw invincible. But given the situation, the sim kind of chucking out a throw in this situation, unless their reactions are really on point or you've done this so many times they're kind of expecting this scenario to happen, I really don't think they're going to be throwing out a throw. They might throw out a move that's 4 frames active, which will definitely snuff you out. I've done a couple of examples of forward, stand medium kick, crouch fierce, crouch heavy punch, and it kind of just blows through it. So there's definitely a sort of momentum change when you do the V reversal in this situation. The Dalsim has to respect easy crush counters. You might have to time them a little bit because counter hits still work in the same respect if you have to hit them out of their startup frame. So it kind of all depends on what the opponent is doing. I'm just using an example of using attacks. You could just teleport throw, you can teleport walk away, you can use the invincibility however you feel is necessary at that point in time. So now I've got Nakali. This situation shows that, you know, this tactic isn't bulletproof. I've just got Nakali to do his ground pound and just mash jab. It's really hard to beat the jabs. Even though you've got the invincibility, the jabs are just so rapid. There's not much you can do to navigate around it. You can try and go for a grab and hope that you grab his jab, like the extension of his hurt box. You could try go for a low profile move to get under the stand jab, but then you might do a crouch jab. He could do anything. He could do a roundhouse, stand heavy kick. There's just so many options. So there are certain situations where it's not as good as it seems, even though it's got invincibility. But every now and again, the ChunLi player might not be ready for it. And if you just go for a sneaky jab, at least it gets you out of the position that you were in before. Like, you could have your back to the corner, and because the V reversal always teleports behind the opponent, will benefit you positional wise, because it'll help you get out of the corner. Obviously, don't make it too bait, otherwise you'll just get thrown out of it. So now is the example against Vega's V trigger, where you can sort of determine your positioning after you reappear from the teleport relative to where Vega is. So basically, if Vega goes behind you, this is how you get the teleport to stay on the same side from when the V trigger was thrown. You basically have to do sort of an anime insta block, if anyone's familiar with that. So basically, you are in block, and then you tap back when Vega goes past you, and then input the V reversal. So there's no forward. You only do forward if Vega's still in front of you. If he goes past you and you press forward, you very rarely get the V trigger. So it's like it does the autocorrect. You have to do it relative to where Vega is. So that's why you have to press back, because by the time you're out of your block stun and Vega's gone past you, that's your forward now. So that's how it kind of works. Obviously, the invincibility still applies. So yes, Vega can throw an attack out before you recover from the V reversal, but your invincibility gives you sort of an upper hand in a scramble situation. Like I said earlier, you can still get thrown out of it, so it's not a guaranteed. But it's still relatively good. You can throw the Vega off. Normally when Vegas do this, they feel like, you know, I'm just going to be at a relatively safe positioning, so you can't do anything. But you can chase them down, and you can determine what side you're on as well, just to make it a little bit more harder for the Vega player. So yeah, that's basically it for all the ChunLi stuff I've got in his V reversal at the moment. If I find anything else, I will definitely upload it to my channel. If anyone's got any suggestions or they found anything else out, please hit me up, leave a comment in the description, so basically I can steal your tech, and I'll see you guys later.